You got a trip to Egypt on the books this year. The next few minutes could save you a full hour standing in an airport line. Welcome to What in the World? 10 news stories today. 3 of them urgent. Let's start in Cairo. If Egypt's on your list this year, the airport visa line just got a whole lot shorter. Egypt's piloting a new digital visa on arrival system at Cairo International. So eligible travelers can skip the paper form and the long counter line entirely. It kicks off August 1st, so if you've already got an Egypt trip booked or you're circling one, that's a date worth knowing. Speaking of dates worth knowing, this next one's a bit more of a heads up. If St. Lucia is on your Caribbean shortlist, the safety rating just changed. Here's what to know. The State Department bumped St. Lucia up to a level 2 advisory on July 10th, urging increased caution because of crime concerns. It's not a reason to scrap the trip, but it's worth a quick look before you lock anything in. And while we're on the topic of things worth a quick look up before you go, heading to Costa Rica soon, the CDC wants you to know this first. The CDC issued a warning tied to a mosquito-borne virus circulating in parts of Costa Rica. Nothing to panic over, but if you've got a trip coming up, it's the kind of thing that deserves a 2-minute conversation with your doctor first. Now, from a health heads up to a straight up itinerary change. If you booked a Caribbean cruise with a Haiti stop, that port's officially off the map through next summer. Royal Caribbean confirmed it's extending the pause on calls to Livadi, its private Haiti destination, through June of 2027. That's tied to Haiti's ongoing level 4 advisory. If your itinerary had Livadi listed, expect a substitute port instead. Let's shift gears from cruise ports to the other side of travel, getting through the airport in the first place. Flying out of a smaller airport soon, your security line might look different than you remember. 3 more U.S. airports are switching over to privatized security screening instead of standard TSA staffing. It's a shift that's been quietly spreading at mid-size airports. Same rules underneath, but travelers usually notice shorter lines and a different feel at the checkpoint. Okay, one more logistic story and then we're getting into the fun stuff. Dreaming of Europe this year. Softer demand right now could mean better deals are coming. New data out of the aviation firm Cirium shows that transatlantic bookings for July are down sharply compared to last year. That kind of dip is usually right where fare sales start to creep in. So if Europe's on your radar, it might be worth keeping an eye out. And I'd be happy to help you book that trip. So feel free to give me a call or an email. We can get you hooked right up. All right, now let's talk about somewhere you'll actually want to picture yourself. This is the new Four Seasons Mykonos, and yes, it looks exactly like you're imagining. Four Seasons just opened its first Mykonos property, a cliffside village of whitewashed buildings spread across 15 acres with all kinds of panoramic Aegean views that does all the talking. Built for slow mornings, basically. And from the Aegean to the Serengeti. This next one's a combo you don't see every day. Marriott's putting an all-inclusive resort in Tanzania. Safari by day, beach chair by afternoon. Marriott's expanding its all-inclusive lineup with new resorts planned for Jamaica and, notably, Tanzania, a rare all-inclusive entry into East Africa. Suddenly, one trip can do double duty. Game drives in the morning, a beach chair in the afternoon. And sticking with the new frontier theme, this next one's headed for the Nile. Nile river cruises are about to get a new option. Century Cruises is heading to Egypt in 2027. Century Cruises just announced it's expanding onto the Nile, adding Egypt to its river cruise lineup starting in 2027. It's one more sign that river cruising keeps pushing past Europe's rivers and into bucket list territory. I predict it will be safe to travel in the Middle East by then, so we should book that trip. And to close things out, you don't need a passport for this last one. Not every bucket list trip needs a passport. This new kids resort just opened in Texas. A brand new 300-room Universal Kids Resort opened July 1st, just outside Dallas, with themed lands, ticket and hotel packages, and annual passes built around a family audience. A fresh domestic option for grandparents and grandkids trip, minus the cross-country flight. Out of everything today, the one to actually act on is Egypt's new visa system. If you got a trip there this year, or you're thinking about one maybe next year, that digital visa on arrival starts August 1st, and it's worth looking into before you fly, not at the counter when you land. That's what in the world for today. We will be back next week. And if you've got something out of this, I'm going to ask nicely, hit subscribe so you don't miss any of our next week's information. Thank you for being here.